Here we want to determine the difference quotient, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. It's very similar to what we've already done. We've already figured out an x plus a minus g of x. This is really close. Instead of a's, it's an h here. So we've already pretty much done two of these questions, right? We've already done pretty much two of these questions. So what we're going to do is we've got to figure out what f of x plus h is. We already know what f of x is because it's given. F of x equals negative 2x squared minus 5x minus 8. That's what's going to go right there. And h is just going to stay right there too. So we just need to find out what this is right here. So first off, we're going to find f of x plus h. So everywhere there's an x, it gets an x plus h. Everywhere there's an x, it gets an x plus h. So there's an x right there, there's an x right there. Negative 2 x plus h squared minus 5 times x plus h minus 8. So now we need to simplify this stuff out. We've already done two of these. Distribute this guy. Alright. If we multiply that out, x squared plus xh plus xh plus h squared. And we still get the rest of this. These two guys would go together and you'd have 2xh. So we need to simplify a little bit more. Everything gets hit by negative 2. Multiply everything there by negative 2. So negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared. And then the rest of this. And I don't see any like terms. They're all different terms. Here's the good thing. F of x plus h is all of this. This is all f of x plus h. Anywhere you see an f of x plus h, you can replace it with this in yellow. So this right here is what we're going to replace. This big long thing becomes right there. Well, what about minus f of x? Well, we've already got f of x. F of x is this guy right here. Alright? And this h, well, that's the difference quotient. It's part of this difference quotient. It's part of it, so it just stays there. So it's just going to stay there. So, I got to rewrite this now. Here's a separate piece of paper. F of x plus h is this big long thing. Alright, so f of x plus h is that big long thing. Okay, minus f of x. So minus, we're subtracting it, so I have to use a parentheses. This part right here. Right, this becomes this. Now that's all going to be divided by h. That's just part of the difference quotient. Thinking, man, this is crazy, but it's not too bad. Let's simplify, or let's clean this up here. Remember, what if there's a negative? There's like a little negative 1 there. So when you distribute a negative 1, that's going to turn that into a positive 2x squared. That becomes a positive 5x. That becomes a positive 8. I'll just rewrite this just. I haven't done anything but distributing negative 1. I'm just rewriting this part here. Alright, well, check this out. 8 cancels with 8. 5x cancels with 5x. 2x squared cancels with 2x squared. That's going to happen with most of these problems, is stuff's going to cancel out at the very end. Alright, so what are we left with? We're left with negative 4xh minus 2h squared minus 5h all over h. Alright, now each one of these gets divided by h. All three pieces gets divided by h. So that's the same thing as negative 4xh over h minus 2h squared over h minus 5h over h. All three pieces get divided by h. Well, look at what happens here. H divided by h. See all these pieces, this is being multiplied together. So what I can do then, since all three pieces are being multiplied, I can just say, well, h divided by h cancels to 1. And I'm left with negative 4x. Well, this is like multiplying h squared is like saying h times h. Right? So that h cancels with that one, and I'm just left with negative 2h. And h divided by h cancels. I'm left with a minus 5. So that whole big thing up there, once you simplify it, cancel some terms, then divide everything by h, becomes this piece right here. Man, that's good stuff.